Alright, I'm trying not to complain. It seems like I do that a lot. I'm not ever, hardly ever happy at any company I go to because they all suck. But this company, I mean, they all have their pros and cons. It's just a matter of whether or not the pros and cons work for you. So, I've been here a year. The nice thing about Premiere is they have multiple divisions. So, um, you can switch to a different division if you don't like the division you're in, presumably. Um, I've been unhappy with this division for some time. It's just been wearing on me. I was trying to make it to my 1 year mark, and I made it to my 1 year mark, so at least I did that. I got this new truck, and now I'm going to lose it. This truck here only has 28,000 miles on it. 28,647 miles. This division is probably the worst division. It is TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And it's so bad we got people quitting all the time. In fact, right now we got like a half dozen people quitting. And I was going to be one of them if I didn't get the transfer. But I got the transfer, so I'm out of here. But as a punishment, he's taken away my brand new truck and he's given me an old shitty truck. So we're going to go videotape that today. To be honest, I kind of like the older truck better anyways. So it's not really a problem. The only problem is it's kind of damaged. And so it looks like it'll make me look like I'm a bad driver to other drivers because it's missing the fairing and shit like that. It's kind of banged up. I'll do a before and after video next week whenever I do the actual swap. Well, I'm going to do the before video of the new truck, new old truck. So I always do it before and after video, or try to anyways, to CYOA, so people can't say I damaged something that I didn't do, especially like this truck that's already fucked up. Like this fairing's missing. Sometimes, oh yeah, they just replaced the tires. That's cool. Sometimes I overlook something, but that's why I do the video, because then I can go back and look at the video and say, oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, that one's an obvious one. Of course, everybody's going to think I did it, but I don't even care. I don't even care. I actually kind of like the older truck better. The new truck is nice. It's got some nice features. I mean, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. Even with these older trucks, there's a dent and a scratch. Right here. So it needs to be cleaned. What I'll probably do with these is put these in the new truck and take the one that's actually organized in the box and put it in this truck, because I like to keep my stuff nice and organized. Let's see if the AC works. Oh. Oh yeah, this one's got to think. Cigarette burn in the seat. Scrunchy. I don't know, maybe this was a girl's truck. We do have a couple women working for us. Well, or used to. One woman, oh, it's got a busted windshield. I'm gonna have to get that fixed. That's almost a DOT violation. Garbage. I'm not really worried about garbage. I just want to make sure everything is in working order and make sure I videotape any damages so I don't get blamed for them. I forgot where the lights are in this thing. Here we go. The lights don't work, so the bunk lights don't work. Wow. I did kind of miss having a desk, so that's going to be nice. The other truck has a desk, sort of, but not really. Everything seems to be functional. It just needs to be cleaned. Oh, hang on. AC seems to work. In the front, anyways. AC seems to work in the back. Oh, this light's broke. Hanging down. What the heck is that? Oh, that's the fairing. Part of it, anyways. Nice. Okay. Where's the permit book? There's no permit book. Oh, wait, it might be up in here. There it is. All right, cool. Got permits. I have to double check those in a little bit. As long as it runs good and the air conditioner works, I'm happy. Seems to be good. Mileage on this is 658,404.7 miles. So yeah, it's got a crack in the windshield. I'll see if they can get that replaced before I take it next week. I got 1 week more here, and then I'm switching, going to the other terminal. So August 1st, I'm going to the other terminal, doing the other division. It's pretty much just drop and hook. TJ Maxx and Marshalls, you gotta load and unload, and the unloading the pallets is not that big of a deal. It's reloading the Gaylords full of all the garbage that is a big deal, because they don't fill the Gaylords properly. they overstuff them, overpack them, and they're a bitch to get on. And you try to tell them, and they don't care or they don't listen, and they just act like they don't give a flying fork. So I think that's one of the worst things about delivering to these customers, TJ Maxx and Marshalls. The other problem is they almost never have room for the product, and especially during the holidays, it's 10 times worse. And they just don't have room for the product. They're either lazy or they're overstocked, and they just don't have enough room for the product because these people just bombard the stores with product, and they don't have room. They don't sell enough to clear out the back so that we got room to put more stuff in the back. And the warehouse is just sending them more shit that they don't want or need, that they can't sell. So it's a combination of all of the above. And it's a pain in the ass. Because when I get there, they act like it's my job to rearrange their back room to deliver the product. And I'm like, no, I'll go back to the truck and take a power nap while you fix your crap. Because I'm not doing it. It's not my job. So anyway, but it depends. Some of the customers are really cool, so I'll help them out. Some of them are douchebags, and so I won't. So there you go. This is my future truck for next month. It's got some issues, but as long as it runs, oh yeah, there's a dent there too. As long as it runs, and the air conditioner works, and the heater in the winter, I don't care. I got time to worry about the heater though, but the air conditioner, I need that right now. So, all right. So next month I'm switching to Home Goods division. No more TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Yeah. You know, the other thing that pisses me off, or pissed me off, and the reason why I wanted to switch divisions or quit was when I hired on, they told me it's 5 days a week. They'd have loads going by the house. I'd be home every weekend. Then after I got hired on, they said, oh, except for October, November, and December. During October, November, December, it's our peak season, and you got to work 6 days a week. And when I first started, he tried to get me to drive my personal vehicle home, 6-hour round trip. And I'm like, no, I was told you had loads going by the house. But he kept pulling that shit on me, so I took my truck home, my pickup truck. So he was forced to get me a load by the house. And a couple times he bobtailed me. This is my new truck, my soon-to-be old truck. I'll get a new truck again soon, probably, because that truck's getting old and obsolete. But anyway, so once I get to the other terminal, it won't be long before they upgrade me. Because one, I take care of my stuff. I don't tear my stuff up. And I keep it clean and nice. I mean, it looks like I washed it last week, but I did wash it a couple weeks ago. But I mean, I keep the fuel tanks clean. I keep everything clean as possible. And I try not to tear my shit up. But anyway, so yeah, after I hired on, he was like, oh, it's three months out of the year, you got to work 6 days a week. I'm like, what the fork? That's not what they told me in recruiting. Then, come to find out, it's 4 months out of the year. So it was October, November, December, and then January. And then I was planning my vacation for my birthday next month. And then he told me, "Oh, you got to work 6 days a week in August." I'm like, "Wait a minute. I got to draw the line somewhere, you know? Before I know it, I'm going to be working 6 days a week, 12 months out of the year if they keep, if I keep letting them push me like this." So it started out 5 days a week. Then it was 6 days a week for 3 months. Then it was 6 days a week for 4 months. Then it was 6 days a week for 5 months. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm out of here. So I requested a transfer. I actually I looked into transferring 6 months ago. But they talked me into staying here. And then I talked about transferring again about a month ago. But then he talked me into staying here. Then he told me I had to work 6 days a week in August. And I was like, fuck that shit, I want to transfer. So, but I told him, I says, I'm going to quit. If, I mean, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them directly that I was going to quit. I told other people I was going to quit. But I basically said, hey, if I'm trying to transfer, but it doesn't look like they're going to let me transfer because we got a half dozen people quitting already, and they need me here. So they don't want to let me transfer because they need me. And I'm a good driver for the most part. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not probably the best of the best of the best. I'm not a super trucker. I'm not the perfect slave. I bitch whenever I feel like I'm getting screwed over. And I don't know if they're narcissistic or what. But they just act like they don't give a shit. This dispatcher here, he's like, he doesn't care, about my obligations at home. He only gives a shit about my obligations here. And it's like, I came to work here because it was supposed to be only 5 days a week so I could take care of my obligations at home. And then they fuck me over and say, oh, it's 6 days a week for 5 months out of the freaking year. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then to boot, if if a holiday falls during a week, I lose my Saturday. So I don't get any extra days off at all. No 3-day weekends. Actually, I take that back. This year we got one 3-day weekend. That was our first for 4th of July. And that was it. We had to work the prior weekend, though, to get that 3-day weekend. So we really didn't get any extra days off. So it's kind of fucked up. So, and God forbid you got plans that weekend. It's like, oh, you got to cancel your plans. I had to cancel my vacation next month. A couple other guys had vacations planned next month, and they had to cancel them. People are pissed. Like I said, we got a half dozen people quitting, and I was pretty close to quitting myself. The only thing that's holding me to this company was two things: trying to get the transfer and trying to get a mortgage for this new property. uh, this new property's got a lot of issues. We're owner financing from someone who was owner financing it from someone else who passed away. And so now the estate is in the hands of the state government because the original seller, his kids weren't managing the estate, so the state had to take over the estate. And then it's just been a bunch of problems. So there's a bunch of crap that needs to be taken care of. And so the loan's taking longer because the title work is taking longer because people, we're paying our bills, we're paying them, the people. So originally, we were paying the people we're buying it from, and they were paying the guy that passed away. And then they were paying the kid of the guy who passed away. Well, the kid wasn't paying the bank, and that's when the state took over the estate because the bank wanted to foreclose. And the state was like, "Oh wait, there's people living there, there's people making payments, blah blah blah. Let's get this figured out." Well, then the people we're making payments to, we're supposed to make the payments to the state who's managing the estate, but they weren't making their payments either. So the bank wasn't getting paid, and then there's a mobile home on the property which has a separate mortgage, and it wasn't getting paid. They came out to try to repo the mobile home. Total nightmare. However, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Everyone likes us. We got documentations. We've crossed our I's and dotted our T's. We've got copies of all our payments. We got signature receipts from them. Everything is documented to the T. So everyone can see that we're the ones making the payments and the other people are not. So everyone's on our team. We just got to get all the paperwork organized so we can move forward. So I'm waiting for that. So I have to stay here till all that's done. And so even if I wasn't going to get the transfer, I was still going to be stuck here till I got the mortgage. Then I can bounce. But I'm getting the transfer, so now I don't have to bounce. So wish me luck. Wish me luck on the new division. Hopefully it's better. From what I hear, this is the worst division. So I just happened to get hired onto the worst division in the whole company. That would be my luck. So luckily, I'm getting the transfer. I have to downgrade as far as trucks are concerned, but is it really a downgrade? I mean, I kind of like the older trucks better, anyways. New trucks are nice, but new trucks have their own set of problems. You know, like the problem with this truck is cruise control is 70, but I can't pass anybody who's doing more than 66 miles an hour because if I step on, because I can't get any closer than almost a football field, 250 feet. I think it was like 300 feet in a football field, 300 and some odd feet in a football field. So I'm not a football player, so I'm guessing. Um, so I can only get 250 feet to the vehicle in front of me before my truck starts slowing down. Well, as long as there's no one behind me, I can pull out and pass, no problem. It might take me 5 minutes, might take me 15 minutes, but as long as there's nobody behind me, who cares, right? Well, but if I step on it, then I slow down to 66 miles an hour and I can't pass. I can't even catch up with the guy unless the guy in front of me is doing 65 or less. So I'm basically stuck going 66 miles an hour, especially if there's people behind me and I can't pass. So if I try to pull out and pass and there's people behind me, they're going to be pissed because it's going to take me 10, 15 minutes to pass this guy because I can't get up on him to pull out. And so I got to pull out ahead of time, a football field, and then they're like, why the heck is this stupid guy in the left lane? Why ain't he passing? Because I can't. I'm trying to, but I can't. You know? So it takes forever. So I'm basically got a 66-mile-an-hour truck. That's what it boils down to. Where with the other truck, the older truck, I don't have that problem. I can keep my foot in it, get up to, because it'll slow me down too when I get so many feet from the truck in front of me. But I can put my foot in it on the older trucks, get right up on them, jump out in the left lane, boom, get around them. This new truck can't do that. Pisses me off. I hate this truck because of that. So my boss thinks he's punishing me by giving me a piece of shit truck. But hey, I'm actually kind of happy. It's got its own problems, not every time. When I go underneath an overpass, it's gonna think I'm gonna crash into something and slam on the brakes, and then it's gonna scare the piss out of me, and then I gotta slam on the gas, but or throttle, fuel, whatever. That happens randomly with them older trucks. So this will be my fourth truck since I've been here. Fourth truck in 1 year. First truck was all kinds of fucked up. It went in the shop. They gave me another truck. I was in that truck for a while. I had some problems, but it worked. Then I got this new truck. I kind of didn't want to get out of that other truck. I kind of got it fixed up. I kind of got used to it. I kind of liked it. Then I got this new truck. I was like, well, okay, cool. And then I started getting comfortable with it. Oh, another problem with these new trucks is they're squirrely as fuck. The older trucks are not near as squirrely as these new trucks. So I'm going to like that too. That's going to actually be an upgrade, not a downgrade. So I don't mind the older truck. Really, I don't mind the older truck. Oh, the nice thing about the new truck, though, is I got room for a bigger refrigerator and I got room for a microwave, where the other truck I won't. So I'll have to downgrade my refrigerator. I'll have a smaller refrigerator and I won't be able to have them. I bought this new microwave that's actually a microwave, air fryer, conventional oven, convection oven. So it's even got a micro convection, something or other. Hang on. So I can bake, air fry, roast, microwave, convection, micro convection, whatever that is. I'm still learning it. So I will miss this because I do like to air fry. I don't really like the microwave. It's not that healthy for you. Radiation, blah, blah, blah. But I do like the convectional oven. I do like the air fryer. I do microwave from time to time, but I try to stay away from that. But the air fryer is basically like an easy bake oven. It's basically this on steroids. So it's kind of like halfway between this and this. So anytime you use an air fryer, not 100%, but most of the time, 90%, 85%, anytime you use an air fryer, look at the oven times and settings. So you set the heat for what it says for the oven, but the air fryer time is half of the convectional oven time. So you can air fry stuff in half the time that you can bake it, basically. And it takes twice as long as microwaving, but it's twice as fast as using an oven. So I love this because I don't really like the microwave. It's not really healthy. It actually changes the chemical balance of the food, and a lot of the food that you're microwaving isn't healthy anyway, so it just makes it less healthy. And if it is healthy, again, it makes it less healthy. So air fry or oven is the way to go. But I've been wanting an air fryer microwave for a long time, and now, or the air fryer like a microwave for a long time, and now they have these. They have other ones that are more like this is a 6-in-1. They have others that's like a 10-in-1 or something. I don't even know what the heck they do, but I really only need these three options. I'm not going to bake a cake. I mean, I might need to bake something. I don't know. I might need to roast something. I don't know. And I've never done this. I got to look into this. I don't know if I even want to do that. Micro convection. But, anyways, that's that. I will miss that. And I will miss my big refrigerator. Uh, but what I'll do, what I can do, I use the top bunk for storage. And so what I did before was I just put a small refrigerator up there. Got my yoga ball. I put a small refrigerator up there, and then I put a banana box in front of it to keep the door from flopping open. And then I just have my refrigerator up there on the top bunk. And that's basically what I'm gonna do in the next truck. I'll just have a smaller refrigerator, so I won't be able to keep as much food. But it'll mostly just be like condiments and a couple things of food. But the little refrigerator is maybe this tall. I mean, it's not that much smaller. It's just smaller. I mean, I got room here. I can put a refrigerator and a freezer. But, I got a bungee cord, doors closed. And then I would have to try and bungee cord both doors closed. And plus, I already had this refrigerator. I don't have one that's got a big freezer on top. It's got this little freezer inside, but I don't have one with another freezer thingy. So maybe by the time I get a new truck at the other terminal, I have some money saved up or whatever. I've been putting all my money into dividend stocks. I've got my dividends up to $3,000 a year now. So it's almost a month's income. Once I duplicate my income, then I'll probably go back to CTI. I don't know. Or do something local. I don't know. But once I duplicate my income, I can go work wherever I want. I could be like Bob the Butler and go through the phone book or the internet phone book, go to the phone book and just start at A and start doing every job in the virtual phone book till I find something I enjoy. And then I'll do that for a little while, and then I'll go to the next chapter, whatever. But I love that movie, Bob the Butler, because of that concept alone. What I always tell everybody, now that I know this, invest as much money as you possibly can into dividend stocks. Do your homework as to what dividend stocks are the best dividend stocks, but invest every penny you can into dividend stocks. Once you duplicate your income, then you can go figure out what your passions are. If you want to start a business, start a business. You won't have to worry about surviving because you got that money coming in from the dividends. So you can go pursue your dreams and passions or figure out what your dreams and passions are. It took me 50 years to figure this out. I wish somebody would have told me sooner. I mean, people talked about stocks, but they didn't really tell me. They didn't really educate me. Had I known before what I know now, I wouldn't have wasted all that money trying to launch all these businesses that ended up going broke. I would have invested all my money in dividend stocks. I'd be retired now, and I'd be doing what I want to do instead of being a slave to the system, a slave to the whoever. And so, yeah, put as much money as you can into dividend stocks. Duplicate your income and then go do whatever the fork you want to do and be a slave no more. Anyways, oh, yeah, you still will have to pay taxes, but it'll be 20% tax instead of 30% tax. And then if you start your own business or have a side hustle or whatever, then you still got tax deductions. So once you duplicate your income, go buy a truck if you want to buy a truck or whatever, start your own business. And then you can write everything off and then you won't have to even pay the 20% tax. Because businesses have even better tax deductions. I mean, you'll still have to pay some taxes, but you won't have to pay as much, you know. So, anyways, dividend stocks, that's where it's at. So, I'm up to $3,000 a year now, and I'm working on growing that. I just got to do that 52 plus more times. But I did that in 1 year. So, $3,000. I duplicated just under 3 weeks of income in 1 year. So next year, I hope to triple that. So that'll basically be $6,000. That'll be just over a month's. No, that'll be double. So six, so 369. So 9,000. That'll be just under 2 months pay a year. So, but it'll be closer to the monthly pay than I am now. Because right now I just got $3,000 a month, like $3,000. So I got almost 1 month, but then if I triple that, I'll have like 4,500 per each month, but I'll have 2 months. So I'll be doing better. So that's my goal. Next year, I'm going to triple what I got now. So right now I'm making $3,000 a year in dividend stocks. Next year, by this time next year, I hope to have $9,000 a year coming in on dividend stocks. Wish me luck at the new division and the dividend stocks. Uh, I'll share my wisdom on the dividends, what little wisdom I have, but I'll share my wisdom at kano-stocks.com or kano-stocks at YouTube, because that's basically where I have the .com pointed to, is my kano-stocks YouTube account. I was going to go to Rumble, but Rumble is a little more complicated. YouTube is easier, so I'm just going to stick with YouTube. I just have to censor myself. Otherwise, they'll censor me because they practice censorship and because they're part of the New World Order bullcrap. But anyways, yeah. Okay, bye.